is Kath Donovan, and I am the Safety Action Meeting Coordinator for the Mid-Coast Women's Domestic Violence Court Advocacy Service, which manages the Manning Great Lakes Local Coordination Point and the Mid-North Coast Local Coordination Point. I would like to begin by acknowledging that I am recording this presentation in Taree today, and I acknowledge the Biripi people who are the traditional custodian of this land. I also acknowledge the traditional custodians of the various lands on which you all link in from and the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people participating in today's forum. I pay my respects to all elders past and present and emerging. Today I'm going to speak to you about safety action meetings that are held fortnightly across New South Wales and are administered by Women's Domestic Violence Court Advocacy Services. Safety action meetings, commonly referred to as SAMs, are one of the key components of the Safer Pathway program that was rolled out across New South Wales in stages from 2014 to 2018. SAMs are organised by SAM coordinators who work for local coordination points hosted by the WDVCAPs. LCPs primarily receive referrals from New South Wales Web Cops via the Central Referral Point. The Central Referral Point is a streamlined electronic platform that allocates referrals to the LCP based on gender and postcode as local coordination points align with police districts. Referrals are for female victims aged 16 years and over, identified by police in domestic violence events. Referrals are received for all incidents reported to or attended by police, including matters resulting in ADVO applications, charges, and where there is no offence detected or no further police action being taken. Government and non-government agencies also refer in, as well as clients presenting on their own for support. All domestic violence victims, whether female or male, identified as at serious threat, aged 16 or above in New South Wales, should be referred to a safety action meeting. It is the role of the SAM coordinator to collate those referrals to be listed on a SAM agenda. Information on those agendas include information such as the victim's name and date of birth, children's details, and the perpetrator's details, and is distributed to the SAM membership at least 3 business days before a meeting to allow sufficient time for all agencies to conduct file audits and prepare relevant information to present at a SAM. Information sharing at the SAM is done so under Part 13A of the Crimes, Domestic and Personal Violence Act 2007. This legislation allows service providers to share information for the purpose of providing victims with domestic violence supports, services, and for the purpose of preventing or lessening a serious threat to a person's life, health, and safety. This includes information about the victim or their children, the perpetrator, or another person. It is always best practice to get a client's consent to discuss their information. However, this is not always possible, appropriate, or safe to do so. SAM meetings are chaired by a senior ranking police officer, and this is usually the crime manager. The SAM membership is made up of government agencies who are mandated to attend, including New South Wales Police, New South Wales Health, Community Corrections, Youth Justice, Community Services, Housing and Education. Non-government agencies are decided locally by the SAM coordinator in consultation with the chair. Potential non-government SAM members may include specialist domestic violence support services, accommodation services, family support services, and case management providers. It is important that all members are consistent in their attendance at a SAM. A SAM is far more effective when the SAM representative attends the meetings each fortnight. And this is obviously where possible. It's proven to build trustworthy working relationships between members and ensures a shared understanding of the purpose of the meeting is maintained. When a male victim is listed on the SAM agenda, the local support service representative must attend the SAM. The LSS, Local Support Service, is responsible for attempting to contact male victims identified by police and providing them with case coordination and safety planning. The LSS is responsible for administering the DVCAP with male victims and referring them through to the SAM so they can be added to the SAM agenda. At the SAM, the chair will facilitate information sharing amongst the membership following a strict guideline. This process includes going around the table and members sharing their agency's holdings. SAM members may have records relating to a victim, perpetrator or child on a set that may span many years. To conduct audits for each matter would be exceptionally time consuming to cover all of that time. So it's recommended members provide relevant information from the last 12 months. However, some information may require further searches beyond that, and that's fine. Stage 2 of the process, once the information is shared, we will go back around the table where members can offer up actions for us to do as service providers with the intention of mitigating risk to the victim and their children going forward. It's important to note, SAM members must attend well prepared and with the authority to delegate and commit to actions on behalf of their service. This is usually the manager or a senior worker, and they must be able to commit to that safety action plan there and then. Safety action plans may include targeted intervention for perpetrators, additional supports for victims and their children, and actions must be timely, with most matters only staying listed on a SAM agenda for 2 to 3 meetings. The SAM's meetings are not case management meetings. Following the SAM coordinator will provide feedback to the client where appropriate. However, in some cases, it may not be appropriate for the SAM coordinator to contact the victim due to various reasons, such as concerns for their safety, or another member may be better suited to report back to them if they have engaged with them and have that relationship to do so. So in wrapping up, I really want to reassure people and reiterate that the SAM is not aimed to take away the rights and choices of a victim. Information sharing and the development of safety action plans are aimed at mitigating further risk of physical assault and domestic violence homicide. SAM coordinators, LSS and LCP staff aim to work with victims to determine what they feel they need to keep safe. We acknowledge that they are the experts in their safety and advocate for their right to stay safe. Going forward, if you have any questions about the SAM process in your area or unsure of whether to refer a client for discussion at SAM, both Nat and I are more than happy to for you to make contact with us, and our contact details will be made available following this presentation. Thank you so much for your time today.